Hello YouTube, this is a VOD review that I am recording for XEPLDEK, who's basically requested these three games of theirs to be looked at for VOD reviews and for tips. This is what they said. I don't play Vanguard a lot, but when I do, I think I usually do pretty well. So I just want some tips that I can follow or anything to improve on. Also, you don't need to VOD review all of them, thanks. Well, I'm going to review all of them. In fact, I actually already saw all of them and have taken notes beforehand. So, on all three of these games, they played Thor and a few other DPS heroes. On one, they played tank until the end of the second round and then they went DPS. And on these ones, they started DPS and then went to tank on the second round. I'm going to say this right now. I'm never a fan of a TPS going to tank. And your profile is public, so I was able to see it. And I could see that you are a DPS main who is trying to flex a little bit onto tank, which, congrats, that's great. It's always good to give your solo tank, or even be the solo tank, so that you can give your team more of an opportunity to win games. But swapping off of tank to DPS is normally a losing battle, especially if your tank is on the volatile side of their mentality. Therefore, if you don't carry when you swap off tank, they will just flame you non-stop. And other people will just report and avoid you for that. That's just a warning that I give. Ultimately, this is a video game at the end of the day, so you do what you want, but that won't always work out for you. And you'll be the person they all blame if you are the one that swaps off. Now, let's get into the tips. I was able to watch all three of your Thor performances, and a recurring theme was just dumb deaths, but they didn't happen all the time. So let's go straight to the...
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1! You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
I don't exactly know what you're doing, but you gotta get your bearings.
It seems we have company. The moon haunts you!
I said nothing that whole time, mostly because, well, the Moon Knight just got a lot of damage off, got that off. But one of the things I want to talk about with Thor is that he's very, very versatile. He can do quite a few things pretty good, but is not exactly known as a specialist. For example, you would not consider Thor a poke tank. You would not. Maybe you'll consider him a brawl tank. You could even consider him a dive tank or a disruptor. But he can't really do all of them at the same time. So, one of the biggest tips for Thor is pick one playstyle and do it. And then once you get good at doing that, you'll be able to understand what playstyle works and when. I'll give you an example right now. Moon Knight on this map is borderline S+ tier. He just gets so much damage done, if you can no doubt tell. He got a Moon Knight ult in 30 seconds. That's fast even for Moon Knight. Now, what you can do to mitigate this is to just not play with the core. And if you're not going to play with the core, you have to play off angles or set up for a different play. If you want to play poke Thor, Thor has no fall off damage on his lightning realm. So you can play right here, just awaken form, and just spam down this choke. Or you can go up here, spam down the low ground. Or you can go around this little way, spam down this hallway. Any of these are good. I'd almost never recommend going with the other tank unless you're trying to catch someone out. For example, let's say the Moon Knight was up here and your mag was right here. Then you can go and use your Storm Surge, I believe it's called, your movement ability. I don't know all the ability names still. Just launch yourself up. Here, I'm not a big fan of that because you're taking way too much focus.
Bright lady carry you home.
But at this point in time, you're kind of just dead. You're better off just backing out and waiting for your team. Because You're just giving more moral charge to the enemy, and you're risking dying. Alright, so that whole time you were getting pocketed by 3 supports. We were getting pocketed by Jeff, but Gambit and Rocket came back. So I would not even recommend doing that because they're playing a Punisher Moon Knight. If all of them decided to look at you and only you, you die in too fast that you're not going to be able to do anything. You're just taking so much damage. The only reason your mag is taking more damage is probably because he's just right behind you with his shift. But that's still a lot. You don't want to take that much damage as Thor. So if a mag is not that far ahead of you, that's not a good thing.
Gambit never falls!
And of course with Gambit, you want to do this, so I have no problem with this.
I am ready to put on a show!
Behold, the god of thunder!
Now that worked because of the rocket ult. If you absolutely thought about that, and you said in your head, oh, there's a rocket ult, I'm going to use the damage boost and one-shot the Luna, then fantastic. If you didn't think about that and just got it lucky, well, that's... Don't just push your buttons randomly. Have intention. But if that was your intention, great job. This is an objective-based game. Just stay on point. Your team has the numbers advantage.
I lift up my comrades.
And at this point in time, you would want to be holding tab to make sure that no one went strange or that no one's going to go strange.
You need to stop that
Tank moment. Nope. I'm not
Judge! Jury! Executioner! Far beyond this realm.
That's just a bad Punisher roll, so good punish. Yes, I know what I just said. Now this is more what I'm talking about. The off angles. Because now you're going to be giving them another angle to look at. There's the main angle right here, and then there's you on the flank. Now, they're running 2 tanks, so you could easily, what they can do is easily just have Emma look at you, and then Mag look at the rest of the core. But the point is to get attention, and to not trade resources in a negative manner. I'll explain that if it happens. Overall, I would say that was not a negative trade, because you got out one of the Mag bubbles, is E. And you didn't lose that much health on top of that. So it's not like you forced out your own Gambit cards or a Jeff bubble. Alright, so let's talk about that and why I don't entirely hate the decision making. This is an off angle technically, and Gambit, you could say, is on his own, especially if you know that you were tracking the Mag bubbles. So what you do is you go for a 1v1. Nothing really wrong with that. However, you kind of took a path where you would open yourself up to poke damage. And if you cannot tell, you're at half health. That's the poke. That half health is, that 300 health is everything. Because it allows the Gambit to just wound you, I guess. It's not an anti-heal because you still can get healed. So I just say wound. But it enables this. I might just walk up. That's not a dumb death per se. But if you were thinking about the Emma, you wouldn't have gone for that.
Hey, team! Enjoy the fire!
I mean, here it's fine because
Never fall!
yeah, good yeah, this is why you don't fight main against the Moon Knight. You just take a lot of damage.
Too bad about your mom, Moon Knight.
He stopped them in their tracks!
This is one of those dumb deaths that's debatable. I would consider it dumb because you didn't even have to be here to get the kill onto the Magneto, who's obviously feeding. At this point in time, the mag is pretty low, but he bubbled himself, and if you wanted to go for a body block, you didn't really do it right. In fact, this kill was mostly just mag being dumb. If mag chose to back up, there's a chance he still kills you, and mag lives. This mag was just really dumb. But you didn't take any better positions. You didn't say, oh, I'm low, I better go launch myself up so that I don't get low, so that I don't die.
Winning hand!
Get out here.
Hurricane incoming!
Back shadow knife.
Magneto's defeat should make me happy.
I am ready to put on a show!
'Twas but a scratch.
A tank with low health is a squishy, so I like to either going for the ammo. Yeah. Overall, it's a good, solid Thor game, especially in that moment in time. You were just playing him like a brawl DPS, which that's kind of what Thor is best at. He's just a really good tank that does a lot of DPS.
Save for me, Lee.
Yeah, go get him.
Wow, 4 in a row! If it is halfway, stop them! Better stop that vehicle!
The moon haunts you! The god of thunder!
Double kill!
Asgard lightning!
You're welcome. I'd rather be
Judge! Jury! Executioner!
No chance to stop them!
Alright, so that's one of the first dumb deaths of the game. And it started off with you just doing a lot of great things. Your mag was pushing up space to get stragglers out and to make it hard for them to walk out. You go with them, A+. I love it. Now, once you get the kills, the enemy is also was stalling. Emma died just recently.
Stand my
But
lightning!
you kind of throw it away.
Judge!
Now, one of my biggest philosophies is don't let the carry throw the game. And sometimes the carry will be you. Basically what I'm saying is, if you're carrying the game and you're doing great, you don't want to start doing dumb things just because you think you can get away with it. Because sometimes an inch is all they need to make a big swing. And this is an example of it. So look at what just happened. Let's look at what happened, the big picture. So one of your teammates died, the Gambit, but whatever, you have 2 supports. That's fine. And almost everyone is dead on the other team. There's 3 in spawn, 1 is coming back from spawn. It's just Gambit and Punisher, who, yeah, on their own can't stall the payload, but they can still get random picks if you decide to do something dumb. So with this Punisher ult, and you just used your ult barely,
Jury!
there's no reason to be here.
Executioner!
All you're doing is just giving Punisher someone to shoot at that can't really, that is no major threat to him because he has a Gambit right here pocketing him. Now, if let's say let's say your mag was with you here and he wanted to push up, then yes, the mag can just shield or bubble you or bubble himself, and you both just unload into the Punisher and probably kill through the pocket. That's fine, but it's just you. So all you did was give him one person to shoot at, and you didn't even have good cover usage with it either. So I don't exactly know what this was. And if I remember exactly, they don't get that. It's not successful.
This is real firepower!
feel the wrath of the goddess!
The weather has shifted in your favor. Lightning confinement.
Come with us,
My
ancient one.
enemies
We shall
Alright, so
guide
it's
you.
actually worse than I thought. Your team did push it without your help. So your team used, I counted 3 ultimates. The enemy team I counted used 4 because Gambit, Emma, Mag, and Punisher. So that ended up a positive trade, but you left it all up to luck. Can you really tell me that you trusted your teammates to win that without you? My answer will always be no. If your answer was yes, then you're a far braver tank than I am.
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them.
Oh yeah, this is something else I want to talk about. Aura farming for no reason. Aura farming is for after the game is won.
I am ready to put on a show.
And just get your rolls up, and then have a plan. Now you have such a numbers advantage that you can afford to trade it like this. In fact, I think you could get one even further. You have your ultimate. You had, I think you had a good chunk of, well, you have your E, so you can get more Thor Force back. But you could have just kept pushing, using cover. And if you use cover, you'll also force your Magneto, who is, where is he? Oh, he died. Okay, never mind. Wait, is that? Sorry, I took notes on you, not the Mac. So so with your Mac still being here, you could have absolutely just stayed here. Maybe you could have even got an extra kill or 2. But once the team is all back up, then you can start retreating, because then you want to be in a good spot for the last fight.
In control. The moon haunts you.
Yeah, that means I don't cut off the team very well.
Gambit never falls. The god of thunder.
Yeah, you might want to. I don't even know who you were going for, but the combo is you want to use your E, your lightning realm, I think it's called, and just ground someone, so that way when they leave, they take an extra 25 damage and can't move as fast.
Only 60 seconds left. Double KO.
Enjoyed that a little too much.
Yeah, I'd say you earned that one. So as of right now, yeah, you are clearly the carry. As of right now, like there were times where the Storm carried more, or the Gambit carried more, but the game as a whole, you're doing great. You're pretty close to your only DPS in damage, and you have just 2,000 less damage than what their Moon Knight was, because DG Axis was their Moon Knight that got the ult in 30 seconds.
The moon haunts you.
Thank you, Moon Knight. So let's move on to defense. Now, with offense on Thor, you have to be creative when how you get to the enemy and how you attack them, depending on your playstyle. And defense, they come to you. So if you're going to poke, well, you only have so much time to poke before they get too close. If you want to dive or brawl, they come to you.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
So let's talk about the plan. If your plan is to poke, you need to do it from behind your tank and where there's cover. If you plan to brawl, you want to be ready to pounce on them. And let me tell you right now, this is not a good spot to pounce, because since this is a third-person game, they can just casually glance around cover, no problem. And that's if no one takes this off angle and just scouts you out and just pings you or shoots you if they're a long-range character. So this, yes, I am not a fan of it. Because all you did was force out one of your abilities, lose one Thor Force, and you didn't even get any damage out of it. Now, I want to use this to also bring up something else that I saw. And the same advice that I gave to you for not letting the carry throw the game, it also applies to Mag here. Because you decide you want to play this far forward. This Mag is not that good either because he wasted his entire shift. So you playing up there makes your Mag think it's okay to play up there. It was not. If everyone wanted to play up there, then fine. Then the entire team's all together. But this Moon Knight is just trying to go for early poke damage. He's not going to try to stay there forever. And neither was the Magneto. But you made him think it was okay. So all of his resources are gone. A good chunk of Gambit's resources are gone. And you gave an opening for the thing to just plow right in. Now, it's not all your fault because the Moon Knight wasn't looking at the core. In fact, I don't even know who he was shooting at. I think it was... Yeah, your Moon Knight wasn't very bright either. But... you definitely didn't help the team. You kind of gave some false hope to your other tank. Now, I like this. Like, you're making the conscious decision to back up. However, your team lost the fight. Let's actually do a count real quick. So there's one person that just died, the Moon Knight. Your Gambit survived, and they backed up with you. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then the other 3 are in spawn. 4, 5, 6. One of them should go strange to portal. However, what you can do, and this is common in the pro scene, and even just like with smarter tanks higher up the ladder, they will wait for 2 ticks, as it's called. It is basically the 1/3 of the objective capture. It is up here, the 1 tick, 1 tick, 1 tick. You want to wait till you're 2 ticks out and about here-ish. Well, although it depends on the composition and if they're scouting and stuff. Sometimes you have to touch around right here. Sometimes you can afford to touch right here. It's kind of dependent. But you have to have a plan for that. Because if you actually look at what was happening, if you gave up just a lot more progress, let's just keep on. Let's assume you started to touch right here. Because let's assume you instead of pushing up, you and your Gambit just wait right here. Or right here. And then say, okay, we're going to wait for the entire team to come back. And then you notice, oh, our Strange is going to portal. So then you can get ready, get set up, and then once the portal comes down, just bum rush, find a support, and take them out. And all of a sudden, instead of a 4v6, it's a 6v6. Because you finally come back to fight. And at this point, once you go to the portal, we'll support you. Now I know you're mostly a DPS player, but this is important on DPS as well. If you are not playing tank and you're playing DPS, and you and the support can get out, you just tell the support, or just like hide right here, and make the support think it's not okay to go forward yet. Just say, okay, we're just going to wait here until the team's together, or until the last second when I have to stall. Like, it's not just a tank tip. It applies to DPS as well, especially on Iron Fist, because you do play a lot of them.
I am barely wounded. Fury. The moon haunts you.
So let's actually go back and watch that from a team perspective. Because I kind of don't mind what you're doing. Like just spamming down main.
Asgard returns.
So that whole fight was very, very weird. Because there was a thing running it down main and a Moon Knight on the high ground. Now, this fight could have been handled a couple different ways. When Moon Knight was up here spamming down, you can absolutely leave main and go up and challenge him. Because if he gets challenged, he's not going to have as good of an angle for an ultimate. Which makes space for your team because the Moon Knight's no longer there.
I am ready to put on a show!
Yeah, you just kind of lost the thing. I like the
God of Thunder! Behold the God of Thunder!
Yeah, you just didn't charge your shift a little bit more, or just get it too out. You probably could have got 2 kills if you just took a different path or waited a little bit.
It's clobbering time!
Yeah, rocket ult can do that. But at some point you have to realize, yeah, you can't do everything. Let me tell you what I would have done.
Help! So cold.
So, when you're playing tank, there's a certain line that you don't want to cross, and past that line, you're going to risk leaving your support's line of sight, or being the only person that the enemy can see, therefore, the only person the enemy will shoot. That line changes on a minute-to-minute basis depending on the game, but it's not entirely absurd to put it around right here at this moment, because if you go around here, well, then the payload kind of blocks line of sight. Now, the reason this is important is because this rocket theoretically isn't really that good. Yeah, because your mag is not alive, so you can't block the beacon from getting blown up.
This is real!
It gets blown up really, really fast, because it's the only thing they can shoot. And because they blew up the rocket ult, now the only thing they can shoot is you. And on 1v4, you're not winning that. So let's assume you found out, oh no, I'm all alone at this point. All you can do is just cancel it, and shift away, and run. And then there's a good chance you survive. Surviving is the most important thing if you want to. Because even beating for 1 second is enough to get you.
Leave them to Khonshu!
You're welcome!
Gambit never falls! My power grows! The moon haunts you!
They got one. Another one gone.
It's clobbering time!
Was able to win that fight. Yeah, just take careless drivers. More to say. You would have killed it with slightly better mechanics.
You got it.
Just put more time in and you'll get better.
Adversaries gather.
Get that vehicle moving again!
First one to scratch.
Aren't these things a symbol of life? I am ready to put on a show!
Where are they sacrificing? What are they sacrificing?
Behold the God of Thunder! A strong defense.
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep
Good
up the
survival
momentum.
I'm not a Thor main, so I can't really keep on the micro of Thor. But I can tell that like, you didn't really have a plan with your movement. It's always useful to have one person in mind when you work. And against the blue team top, the best one is Luna because she really doesn't have any immobility. What you can do is just shift right on top of her in-game model, press your E and ult, and that'll maybe more often than not get the kill on its own, because if she leaves the bubble, she slows down, so you can just follow her even if she ice skates away. Gambit can do his dash and staff spin or whatever it's called, so you can get out. Moon Knight can also use his grapple, and Namor can just shield it. So Luna is the one you always want to go for, but if you're going to solo somebody. If you want to combo with somebody, that's a different thing. But soloing somebody, you need to have one target in mind. Always a little bit dangerous to play it out. And it's a little unfortunate you got caught.
What battle can continue without Thor? Within the range of battle. These beasts must belong.
Alright, so the same dumb death applies here, and the same advice on first point defense applies here as well. The fight is obviously lost. You're down 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's just you. Nice. So it's literally just you. There's no... You have the opportunity to run away. It's not like you got randomly headshot by a Hawkeye at this point, where you couldn't react to it. You can run away. You can just hide behind here, shift up, and just hide. Wait for your supports. Or... Whoops. Sorry. Went off the monitor. Or you can just go right here and wait for your supports. I don't like you just poking for 20 extra damage for no reason. Which is also going to bring me to my next point once you do this.
Magneto!
As I said at the beginning of the video, I am never a fan of any second tank just switching to DPS. Even if they must. You made a commitment to be the tank and help the mag, you stick to it. But even then, you also had your ultimate, which would have been useful for forcing out other ultimates. So let's just go over what you do.
I am ready to put on a show!
Now, at this point, this is just theory crafting, but there's a good chance that Luna would have used her ult, even if you, on Thor, still had your ult. So you would have been able to get a lot more done with it. And you play Iron Fist for the rest of the game because one of your teammates, I believe your Jeff, switches to the second tank.
Better stop that vehicle!
Yeah, they do. So at this point, the tank VOD is over. And overall, if we're going to look at your stats compared to how the rest of the team was playing, you're definitely holding your own. Your mag's not really doing much damage. And the Moon Knight, of course, is doing the most damage because he's Moon Knight. So for what you're doing and on Thor is good. It's just that a few times you've made a really bad decision that either cost your team dearly or almost cost your team dearly. And it's those times when it's almost going to cost your team, they're going to be bad as you climb. Because the one that costed your team in this game so far was the first point defense. If you just wait a little bit more, there's a really good chance that you win that fight and might even full hold. But the one that doesn't cost your team is the one where you died on second point attack to the Punisher rolls. Your team won that fight for you. But if they didn't, all of a sudden this game is looking a lot shorter. I'm actually going to skip a little bit because you sent 2 Central Park VODs, so I'm going to do Heart of Heaven first. And on this one, you play Spider-Man for the whole first... Oh, never mind. You also switched to Iron Fist, I forgot. But more importantly, you're letting your Groot solo tank. Which, your Groot was pretty good. So, not too bad. And because you're on Spider-Man, you have low elims. So I'm not going to fret on the elims or the lack of final hits. Actually, on Spider-Man, yeah, the lack of final hits is bad. But the elims and the low damage, not too much. Not horrible. And because I'm guessing because your root was doing fine, he wasn't getting steamrolled, and you do have a Mr. Fantastic, which is low-key kind of busted right now. The team was able to do well, and you felt like you didn't need a tank.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3,
I'll just give her the
2,
music.
1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Now, I told you in the first playing Poke Thor against Moon Knight, not that good. However, against what they're running right now, you can absolutely play Poke Thor, because you can poke from a really good distance. I would say you're probably the second, yeah, I think you're actually the only other poke hero in your comp other than Moon Knight. Maybe Luna if you want to add her in, but you can just sit behind your root and just spam down main. But you're not going to do that. And against a Penny that sometimes can go pear-shaped. I mean, not bad. The bad part was when you just stayed in the middle of the choke. And then this is also bad. Like, yeah, your team won and got the enemy group, but did you have to drop to 150 health to do it? I don't really think you needed to. And then there's just basic Thor, brawl on point. Yeah, get the rocket, good. Yeah, go for anyone on point. Oh, yeah. Honestly, just use your shift. Just look for him in the fog. Right. Just at this point, you also at this point you don't aura farm. You hold tab and see what they're doing. They have a strange. They swapped a strange. They're on triple tank. It's pretty obvious to tell they're gonna portal, so you'll want to be ready for it. You don't want to be aura farming. Don't let your carry throw the game. Thankfully, the stranger was a little too slow. But if he wasn't, and you were busy aura farming, that's valuable time you've wasted.
They're coming from behind.
Admit it. You need me.
Good job on getting your one kill onto the brute. This is when it gets a little bit sketchy, because you're... Oh, it was their cloak that died. Never mind. I took a bad note. Even I took a note that said, your cloak died.
Never found anyone willing to help?
But even though you have a numbers advantage, doing this is a bit risky because it's... But at least the entire team was with you, so now you can go push cards. If the entire team wants to defend up here, then good. But the entire team has to be on board. If even one person's not on board, it's too dangerous.
Snowball fight. You're halfway there. Keep going.
Leave them to
It's
Not sure if that was intentional or not, but that was a huge save because you basically forced the Groot to solo ult you. Whether it was what you wanted or not. So
Jury! Executioner!
Because that one play basically forced the red team to use a lot more ults. Look at the ults on the field right now. Your team used only 2. Their team used 5. That's massive. You take that every day of the week, twice on Saturday. Now they only have Jeff ult versus 3 ults. 2 ults on your team, almost 3.
You're up, little one.
However, not everyone on your team's alive yet. If you were just holding tab, you'd see there's 3 people on my team dead, and if you turned around, you'd see 1 person. Actually, where is that? Okay, Moon Knight's just dumb. There's 1 person. Okay, at this point, you just accept your Moon Knight has decided to commit suicide. And you just say, I'm going to wait for the team.
Watch the spiders from afar!
What am I? Invisible?
Moon Knight is the dumb one.
Get that vehicle moving!
Don't be the second dumb one and follow him. And the reason I say that is because you decide to follow him. You're a little overzealous. Yeah, you can get some good damage on the penny, but you already have your ultimate, so it doesn't really do much for you. Just wait for the team. Just wait the extra 5 seconds.
Behold the god!
You did the combo, but you took a lot of damage beforehand. Now, the enemy team does have a hit scan who is not looking at you. I do not understand why. Like, that hit scan that Punisher just looks at you, you die. You did not get punished for this mistake, but that doesn't mean the mistake wasn't made. If that Punisher looks at you, you die during your ult cast, and then, well, the penny will never die. So it would be a 65 in favor of the enemy. Weary habits like that. Even though it didn't get punished this time, it will get punished later.
I become home.
Time for some fireworks. A nice deep
Honestly,
freeze.
breaking the foibles. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that earlier. Breaking that penny nest from range, love it. Thank you for doing it. I mean, you can not throw your hammer, you use it for.
I am very
Yeah, you made space. You got her away. I mean, this whole time, they're not touching card and they're not fully reset. So I don't entirely hate that, and you had backup too with
Almost there.
Mr.
Don't turn
Fantastic.
back now.
So even though that's a bit aggressive for my taste, you had help and you were doing good.
ancient Egyptian artifact. Wait in the range of battle.
I could have even just used your lightning realm on Penny and just get extra Thor for it.
Haunts you. Twas but a scratch.
Against the world.
I am blind. Serve but a splinter, and he will live world.
I'll do my best to carry on, Reed.
Just a little nitpick. You could have gotten out of the fight a lot sooner.
I am strengthened.
I'm hurt. Mine's in place. Get that vehicle moving again. A nice deep freeze. It's fighting time!
I love the ult because even though it was a bit much for the team, especially the Luna ult, I don't get that. That was huge. You comboed with the Thor, your Groot used his ult immediately, got a big one, and you just launched in and ulted. Fantastic. That's great. If it was intentional and you absolutely were going to wait for your Groot to ult, huge. If not, well, I'm glad you decided to make that reactionary play and play off instinct. Both good. What would have been bad is if you just ulted at the same time as Groot and had no real thought behind it. But you actually waited.
Double
So
kill!
very good job.
Piece of crap to double KO! That's 3!
I'm not going to get upset with the micro of Thor because even I'm upset.
Vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Alright, so decision-making time. Cloak just used the Fade that gets them out of danger, and they didn't entirely get out of danger. So what do you do? Well, you can do a few things. You can, one, just accept that they got out and run, or you can double down. And if you double down, I'm not entirely against it. And I'm going to tell you why, if I can press the right button. You have some help from the team, and the team is not all together. Like, that Penny is just off doing something way. However, playing out in the open is not a good option.
Judge, jury, executioner!
Yeah, that was a bad Punisher ult. Good one. Good job. I'm gonna play this. Because, yeah, good job pushing. Good job pushing. And to be honest, if you're holding tab and checking the screen, I would even go for the penny. They're low, so they count as a squishy. And you get them. However, once this Punisher... However, I would be checking tab again. And making a call. If you're confident in your awakened form, yeah, go for the kill. If you're not, you're better off just giving up space and just saying, you know what, I'm not going to risk it. But you do risk it, and your Sue's with you. So, great job. And you also back up. Because it's their spawn. One... Okay, actually, never mind. Yeah, 3 people a card, never mind. I was going to say go back to card to push it a little bit faster. Maybe you can get it into the checkpoint. But your team did that for you.
The moon haunts you.
Us against the world.
Trouble has arrived.
Yeah, people on your team just got blown up. It's probably because the Moon Knight saw that there were 3 people on the cards and just threw a knock and just got them. But you should not be here, you should run.
Anyone willing to help?
I wouldn't just also run, I would
Sorry, you made this mess,
just
Spectre.
be away from the team so that Moon Knight can't get more random damage.
Lead them to Khonshu.
Not a good Moon Knight ult, even though it gets a kill. Because no one on the team is ready. He just got left out. So let's actually look back at that from the Thor's perspective, for the perspective. So this is currently what's going on. Yeah, Groot is just in a bad spot right now. He just decided to put himself at a pincer or a crossfire where he can be shot at from multiple angles. And okay, Rocket was dead, so it was just Cloak healing. So the Groot wasn't really thinking. So good punish on him.
When I awaken, behold the god.
And because of that play, your team wins the game. Now that was probably, in my opinion, your best Thor performance. Because you weren't taking as much random chip damage, you were taking better engages, and you didn't really throw on Thor. I mean, there were a few times where you were kind of throwing, but you didn't like hard to throw. And minimizing those kind of throws is going to help you climb as a tank. And also as a DPS, because, again, when you're the carry, you don't want to throw. Alright, so that was the second game. I just reviewed 3. I had number 3 before 2. So let's go to 2. And I believe you said at round 2 you did not play tank, you played a DPS, so I'm just gonna verify.
They look like they mean business.
Yeah, you're on Moon Knight. And then you switch to Thor at this moment. So as of this snack right now, you did play Spider-Man a little bit, but then played Moon Knight, so again, I'm not gonna ripe your damage that much. And I think your entire team was just getting outclassed by their team. So it's not really all on you. You should always be looking for assassinations as Spider-Man. And even Americans, too.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
I like you for now. Trust me, change in a heartbeat.
Now, this is another example of where you could use your superior mobility to force out off angles. Now, Blade is pretty scary in a 1v1 scenario, but not unbeatable. You can fully charge your shift, launch up here, and just put your E down, maybe do one hammer swing, hammer throw, and then awaken, and maybe you can at least force him out. You might not kill him, but you can force him out. And forcing him out is huge because, well, then he's no longer getting random chip damage.
Right behind you. I am Odin's son.
Double KO!
When I awaken,
good job. You are now up one person. However, you're the only tank right now. So you can be up here, but you want to be careful with your ult. But the Moon Knight ult makes space for you. So now that space has been made for you, you can now jump the high priority target. In this case, it's most likely going to be the rocket, unless Luna is just lower. Or Blade if he gets lower. But at this point, I would not say Blade is the priority target. He's like at 250. And that ego's wasted because of it.
Now I see them.
Objective-based game, please. This is an objective-based game. Just go back to the objective. You can't chase a rocket with a wall flat.
This is real firepower!
Turrets blow. Castle way down.
The tanks, the red tanks, decided to push in a spot where they weren't going to get healed by the rocket ult. That's a mistake on them. Because if they just stayed here, they keep getting overshields. And the Strange and the Thing probably should just back the way so that they could get healed. And then if that happens, then at that point you just start shooting a rocket just to break it. Because you want to break it. Don't just assume
I am
someone
ready
else
to
break
put
it.
on a show.
Always try and break it.
Look out, he's behind us.
You inadvertently saved the Strange. I'm not going to get a kill. You didn't know that was going to happen.
Get that vehicle to its destination.
So you won this fight convincingly, so you can take space like this. The only problem is that you already have your ults, so... Okay, so as I was gonna finish my thought, just getting extra poke damage like this isn't really gonna benefit you, because you already have your ultimate. Now let's talk about the aura farming habit. This game is why I bring it up as I have it.
I'm hurt.
Luna started at 7% ult charge. He just gave her 6% more. Luna takes a long time to get her ult, so that's not good. You don't want to give them an edge. This is why I say, don't let the carry start throwing the game. That's a soft throw. If they were running a Hawkeye and you got one shot, that's a hard throw.
I am barely wounded.
And I wouldn't even do it there either. Focus on the game. Focus on the plan. What is your plan? Well, like I told you from the first map, look for someone to just solo ult. And once again, the best option is going to be Luna. Because you can just drop the Lightning Realm, press Q, and there's a good chance she dies from that alone. Assuming she's not getting perma-pocketed by mag or rockets. But if you do it like with the whole team, where everyone on the team is together, fighting in a death ball, and then you say, I have my ult, I'm going to try and look for Luna. Then there's a good chance she dies because resources will already be wasted, or Rocket will just be looking at someone else. Like, the only thing I didn't like about that engagement was just the time. Like, yeah, you have a good spot, but one, you didn't push anyone away from their objective. Like, you just pushed Strange like 2 feet. And then you ended up in the middle of nowhere where everyone can shoot you and barely get out alive.
I got you
The ancient beast of Eagstar, we shall... Thor, sometimes I forget you were
Objective.
by the eye of Agamotto! Punisher's down. Crazy.
I'm not going to get upset at you for not finish straight up because pushing up is objectively
Awaken fury
a good
and
strategy. It's
We've
just
got trouble.
that also the other tank wasn't looking at their So, I mean, don't be there. Don't throw.
Behold the god of...
My only problem with that ult was that you didn't have any health. If you did that at 600 health, that's a good ult.
By...
I am
By Toe!
This is real firepower!
Castle went down fighting.
So remember how in the first game, how I said you can't just depend on your team to win the game for you, even though they did, or win the fight, I mean? Well, this is an example where they did not win the fight without you. It would have been good for you to still be alive, even if it meant not using your ult to get the Luna when you were 200 health. Because what just happened is, your team used 3 ultimates versus the enemy's 2. And you lost the fight. And they didn't have you. So, let's go theorycraft. What could have been done differently for that whole fight? Firstly, not everyone on the team was dead. In fact, it looks like the angles were never cleared. So your team is the blue team. Strange is playing in a bad spot, but you can't do anything about it. And then you play in a bad spot. You get frozen, almost back. And while this whole thing is happening, no one is looking at the flanks. Bucky's on the flank, Rocket's on the flank. And even though Strange can go for the flanks, it's mostly your job at this moment in time to clear them because you're the most mobile. You're just looking down main just because you're Strange can. Thor is not a sit AFK and hold space tank. You gotta be everywhere, you gotta be ready to think. And at this point, what you should be thinking is, oh, if there's someone on the high ground, I better go take care of them and get him out. This could be either the Rocket or the Bucky. Doesn't matter which, just pick one.
Noble beast. Who has been protected?
Because right now they're going uncontested.
Well, I was banished for
And they are bothering your back.
on this realm.
Now their Strange dies, but
A
gets
frog.
beacon
my
raised.
liege. But at least
So the whole fight has been split up. If these supports were a little bit smarter, they would just follow the rest of the team. Like, just forget the cart, just go with the team and win that fight. Because there's a fight on 2 fronts. There's the front on the right, front on the left. Your team is convincingly winning the front on the left. Oh, that blade barely gets out. Oh, he gets out. He does not get out. And your team wins the fight on the right front. The only problem is that no one on the tanks are not even looking. That includes you and the Strange, are not looking at the team while you guys are winning this fight. You're not saying, okay, everything's fine. Their teams are fine. And you're not even asking, like, why am I not getting healed? Like, you're just sitting there. Without that much health.
Vengeance is mine.
Like, you had the perfect chance to just turn around, find your supports, see what's going on. And just get heals. You don't do that.
By the eye of Agamot.
Now, you're probably not stopping this unless you were already in the middle of full sending it. If you're full sending it, you might be able to stop this in time.
Toe.
Or at least you'd be able to maybe pop your ultimate and maybe force Strange to shield.
Crazy.
Thor. Sometimes
But as
I
of right
forget
now-
you were literally born.
But even with all that aside, you win this fight, but you're down 3. Count them. 1, 2, 3 on your team. 1 in spawn, and 2 in spawn. 1 is still respawning. So, with what we know in mind, we know that you only have 3 people. You're not winning this fight most likely, unless you make some clutch plays. But you can't go look for them. They have to come to you. Let them come to you, and then you make the clutch play off it so that you have all your health. Like this. This is a throw. This is a throw right here. You just went straight to them, even though you're already down numbers.
Ancient beast of Eagscum.
And if Sue had her ult, she's probably using it right here, which is not what she wants to do. She wants to use it on point.
We shall guide you. Behold.
In fact, I want to see.
anyone willing to help?
Okay, Sue was dumb and not looking in your direction. But you also made the dumb decision to
I am ready to put on
200
a
health and not
show!
run away.
A winning hand!
So you lose this fight.
Slice and
Not a good look on you.
I am barely wounded. Our adversaries gather. My power. The wrath of Asgard.
You probably could have won that, but you shouldn't have been there in the first place. Your team won.
To battle again. A thousand gods! My power grows!
A clear winner.
You were doing so well. So,
What am I?
you're down
Invisible?
2. And get a finishing kill. You're still down 2, though. In fact, now at this point, you're down 3. You should not be doing this. You should not be walking forward.
I am very...
And this is advice for tank and DPS. If you are Iron Fist, and this happens to your team, just turn around and go back to your team. Because you should not be fighting this. You're giving them more ult charge, wasting more time.
Get that vehicle moving again!
I don't agree with the portal, but you're strange enough to go.
By the eye of Agamotto!
I am ready to put on a show. Am I?
Break that. Start fighting that.
I unleash the Vishanti! Magneto! Behold the god of thunder!
You just got caught up in the moment, but that fight was just an ultimate extravaganza.
Anyone willing to help?
Get that vehicle moving again!
Twas but a scratch.
With the Gambit, better switch.
A thousand gods! By the eye.
Yeah, the team's kind of split right now. Just pick one. And then just push the payload until someone else shows up. There was a blade behind you, but your team got it. But you want to know he's there, though.
Always knew you'd turn bad. We must seize our victory now. Our adversaries gather. My power grows.
Vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Alright, another dumb death. You can pressure them from range. You can just be here, look, and then once they pop their heads, just awaken form and then just shoot them down. That is good pressure, where you're safe. You don't have to die for this for no reason. You only have 9 deaths, but a lot of those deaths are really good.
We get to the castle, we can break this curse. Clearly you needed some.
Leave them to Khonshu.
I don't know what you're doing walking down the stairs.
Don't let anything
Can't.
stand in your way.
The Moon Knight got a good open. Alright, you're up 2. Yeah, do this. Drop the bucket. Yeah, good retreat. Good technical retreat.
I am ready to put on a show.
A thousand gods!
Big chance. Down to 30 seconds.
Yeah, when a team dies that quickly, just jump on them. You staggered unnecessarily. Like this point, you're down both supports. Just walk here, reset quicker.
A winning hand! By the eye of Agamotto!
Yeah, wait a little bit longer for some of us to go down. So at this moment, you're doing pretty well for yourself. Again, you were on Spider-Man earlier, so you're low damage. I'm not going to worry that much about. But you are catching back up to Strange, your Punisher, and Moon Knight are just going to have that much damage because it's on this map, and Punisher's just shooting the tanks and a blade a lot.
To do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Gotta get rid of these vans so the teams feel safe here. Push for the strength. Within the range of gunner.
So that whole series of events was just a poke war. And because Thor has a lot of burst damage, you were able to win the poke war. And you did force out the lead.
Down to 30 seconds.
And you're actually doing a pretty good job at also helping your Strange take the damage because they are running Bucky, Strange, and Blade, who do a lot of damage to a Strange who can't brawl as well as them. So whenever he has to start backing up because he's getting shredded by Blade, you then take the charge, and you can brawl a lot better than him.
Clearly you needed some
So
help.
you're doing a really good job almost working.
This is real
Now at this point you have to
power!
start shooting the rockets. That should be your number one priority.
Final 10 seconds.
Good job getting the
I
rocket.
am ready to put on a show.
Immediately started hunting down Luna.
Let's keep fighting until we have a winner.
Armed and dangerous!
Double KO. I've got your back.
Yeah, this is always dangerous, pushing past the objective in overtime. If you know someone is going to be there to stay on the point, then yeah, you can go for this. But if I saw one tank, if I'm on tank and I saw one tank go past the objective to chase kills, I'm going to stand back. Because I want to be there to capture the objective. So yes, I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not a fan of you going.
Double KO.
Now you did get kills, but if let's say the Rocket won the 1v1 against a Gambit and steals the point back, then those two kills don't mean anything. This is an objective-based game at the end of the day.
1,000 gods! By the eye of Agamotto!
Not in control here.
Help get that vehicle to its destination.
Yeah, and on the objective, yeah, this is fine. I don't hate it. Because it is overtime. You don't want to risk it. I have been told that you don't actually, you just have to have control of the cart and take space. I haven't tested this yet, but this is just the former Overwatch player in me. And overtime, I like to be on the cart, or at least to be close enough to the cart where I can back up easily. Hope that series of events doesn't touch.
Behold the god of thunder!
Very good.
Not exactly a carriage ride in the park, but it'll have to do.
Now this is more of the stuff I would have wished you did on the second point, where yes, you take care of everyone around, and then take space.
Behind you.
You chased them a little bit longer than I
Vehicle
would
reached
have.
a checkpoint.
Because it's a
Keep up the
Luna. You just have to
momentum.
accept, you know what, they're not healing the team. I'm just gonna keep them in the back of my mind.
I am ready to put on a show!
The God of Thunder!
This is real firepower!
1,000
Your team
gods!
just kind of got stomped at that point, but your team made it really far, so you should be proud of it. So overall, not too shabby. It's just that they kind of just built up a lot of ultimates, and your team had no answer.
You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Oh, I hope this is important. Reed and I had a date night planned.
Please don't be AFK.
Enemy in front of us.
I guess I skipped this part because I took no notes on this. Don't be AFK like this. You gotta focus. This game is going on this long, and you can defend for 5 minutes on first point. It's winnable. It's doable. I would borderline say it's actually not even that hard if you play your cards right and don't make any major miscalculations. You're just doing nothing here. I don't get this. Like that whole time, your Sue just dies for no reason. And you're not really helping your Strange at this moment in time. And he dies too. Like, the team needed you to not be a super live. And that leads to all of this.
Happened to a squirrel? Leave them to Khonshu!
We're not coaching the Moon Knight. That's a bad ultimate, but we're not here for the
What battle can you slow down?
This is real firepower!
I am ready to
at this
put
point
on a
you can't
show!
really do
Agamotto!
I mean, at this point, what you can do is just get an ult. Accelerated ult charge. Use it. Get your ult, and then wait until your team has ults, and then use it. So yeah, even if you got your ult now, I'm not using it, because you want to wait for a good fight. You got to 5, you got all the way to point C. You can wait and just say, no, I'm going to wait for a good time so I can one-shot somebody.
The moon beholds the God of Thunder!
Like, the red team is literally using every ultimate in that team, which is not needed. They have 4 minutes.
The lightning of
The team is obviously not going to win that fight,
the
so just
lightning
be ready
of
to defend.
Asgard
second.
returns.
So I would, because tank principle. If they cap a point and you see through tab that people are still respawning, they're no longer going to spawn with. They're going to spawn far away. So what you can do, either as the tank or as a DPS, just say, you know what? The team's not going to get respawn in time. They're going to get the far spawn as it's called. So I'm just going to wait right here at this corner. Or I'm going to wait right here. And if you're the tank, there's a good chance that the rest of the team subconsciously will just follow you. If you're the DPS, maybe it'll happen. No guarantees. But at least you guarantee your own safety. As a tank, most of the time you'll convince everyone else to go with you, even if they have no idea why they're doing it.
Stop that vehicle in traffic.
Because here, you just die, you stagger. The Strange and the Gambit are coming back, and now the Thor just got himself killed. Oh, okay, never mind. Now I'm mad at your Strange for doing the exact same thing you did on game 1. Okay.
Better stop that vehicle!
Pop quiz. Where's your team? Well, Star-Lord's right here. Gambit's right behind you. Sue is pretty far behind. Punisher and Moon Knight just came back. So now is not the time to go in.
The god of thunder! Lead them to Khonshu!
This is real firepower!
That was an interesting series of events. I just wanted to see how it would play out. I'm surprised you survived as long as you did, to be honest. Because you're already down 1. And yeah, you are buying time, you are stalling cart, which in overtime rounds you have to do.
The moon haunts you!
And then the Moon Idol does a good job splitting up the tanks. The only problem is that their tanks, one of the tanks is a strange, and they have a lot of health. So they can't really die.
This is real
And then the Rocket Ult comes in to save the day.
firepower!
You don't really give up space, because you're getting hard pressure at this moment. You're getting hard pressured by the Strange and by the rest of the team. So you should... This is when you give up space. And just say, okay, I want to survive with my life, so I'm going to run. You make that decision way too late. And you survive longer than I thought. There's a chance that if you get out just half a second sooner, you probably survive right here. And the team can support you, you get all your health back, and then you can be ready to set up for another fight.
Judge, jury, executioner! The moon haunts you! The god
But the
of
enemy team
thunder!
just steamrolls from there. It was partially your fault on first point, but on second
I'm
point, the
ready
team
to
was
put on a show.
they were just too deep in the hole.
Might be a good time to stop them.
And then this, yeah, no one can defend that. Not for 2 minutes. So, now that we got the entire VOD done, this whole hour-long VOD plus, let's talk about gameplay, overall gameplay style. Honestly, Thor's not the optimal tank if you want to have a tank in your hero pool. My number one recommendation is to learn Strange so that you can portal back to your team. This is important to do as a DPS as well. If you die first and you need to redefend, just switch Strange, portal, and you're golden. But for Thor, yeah, he has his uses, especially in this rank. And I never even mentioned the rank. They're kind of all over mid-gold to mid-plat. So overall, not too bad. You can easily play Thor. Especially if you want to have a lot of impact damage, because Thor does a lot of burst. Thor does a lot of burst damage. You can go for kills and assassinations. And do a lot of poke from range if you play your cards right. So, overall, I'm pretty happy with what I saw, and I do hope you keep on playing Thor. Maybe just reel some of those weird decisions back a bit. Know where your team is most of the time. Because if you just know when to engage... Okay, one thing. Knowing when to engage is going to help you a lot on Thor, but it's also going to help you a lot on Iron Fist as well. It's not entirely one-to-one, but if you know, let's say, you're waiting for your team to come back all together, and you're Thor, this is going to help you on Iron Fist as well, because you could be set up in a good spot, and then once your team engages, you can just go on whoever you want, and make space for your tanks, and get a lot more done. So overall, very good VODs. I hope you find this useful, and if you don't find this useful, I'm sorry that I couldn't be better. Maybe we can do a live one someday. But, again, I'm doing this for free. I'm doing this just because I really wanted to. I felt like it. I like doing this. I like coaching. So, if you did find it useful, feel free to let me know. And maybe we can even do a live VOD review some other day if you want. But, until then, that is pretty much it for this one. Hope you had a good day.